Everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today I got a pretty exciting video. I've been waiting to do this for a while. But it's my entire World War I German uniform and all my gear. So let's get straight into it, starting with headgear. So on the far left here is a M16 German Stahlhelm. Pretty basic stuff. You see this in a lot of World War I movies. I think this one came from World War Supply, just based off the color. They have a lot of companies have different colors, but you know, rabbit skin liner. That was like a regular $70, maybe almost 100. But yeah, that's the Stahlhelm. And then I think this is one of my first ever helmets that I've owned. A Pickelhaube. So, as this name suggests, Pickelhaube was worn up until 1916 when the Stahlhelm was being produced, because this was just leather. You can see there on the inside. This was just leather. It's more decorative than actually protective. They did come out with covers like this one here. This is the early war one, so earlier in the war a lot of gear was this color, or almost looked orange. And but later in the war they changed, around 1915 the colors were changed to wartime, so all leather gear was to be dyed black, and all this pre-war orange canvas was to be changed to gray. So this is an early war cover, an early war helmet. I've done a lot of research on this front piece here. This is to tell where you're, what part of Germany you're from. This does not exist. I don't know what kind of reproduction this came from. I don't know where it came from. I got it when I was little. But I haven't been able to find a front crest like this that looks like this, so this must just be made up. So, not a very good reproduction. It's short, so like good reproductions and originals are longer and more curved down. This one just goes straight down, and the cover doesn't fit because of that, for that reason. But anyways, that's Pickelhaube. Numbers were removed in 1915 as well, so you won't see numbers on the front like this anymore. And the chin strap is the exact same as the Stahlhelm, just uses a little loop that goes around a peg on the helmet, like that. Same for the M16, you can see right there. Alright, now on to field caps. So as of right now, this is all I have. I do plan on getting a new one. These two are from Hessian Antique. They're pretty good for their German gear, but a lot of mistakes a lot of companies make when they're making Feldmütze is when they put way too much fabric between the color band and the top of the hat, so then it ends up looking like a chef's hat, and I really don't like that look because it just looks goofy. And that's how both of these are. There's way too much material between the color band and the top piping, or it just looks like a chef's hat when you put it on. Original ones, if I stretch it out here, will look like that when they're on your head, just flat, or just a little less of a curve. So there needs to, I'm going to get one with a lot less material. But to explain the colors here, red, earlier in the war, like the helmet cover, is just or is for infantry, you know, regular, no matter if you're a draftee or you enlisted. If you're in the infantry, you have red. This is reserve, so if you are scheduled to be drafted you'd probably be given this green Feldmutzen with green band and green piping. Same goes for your tunic. So that's it for headgear. Now we're going to go to clothing. So here I have 2 examples of clothing that the Germans would wear. Here, this is the M1915 wartime tunic, and then over here is the all-around issue greatcoat. So to start off with the 1915 tunic, there's really not much to it because this is the wartime one and they were saving a lot of stuff like metal. So it's got the regular crown buttons, and then this one that I got from Soldier of Fortune is the correct color of collar, as in my unboxing video, and the white piping for just standard infantry again. They got rid of, there used to be cuff piping, back piping, edges of the or whatever going down your chest had piping, pockets and collar all had piping, but they got rid of all of that to for camouflage purposes, and they removed shiny buttons and got rid of them with a hidden button system. And then, like the greatcoat, it has 2 collar hooks just to make the whole thing look nicer. And then onto the greatcoat. This is basically the same thing, except there's no hidden buttons, and it's just a long version. So the cuffs are the same, the pockets are the same. The back has a piece of cloth with 2 buttons on it to cinch the back if you need to. The collar only has 1 hook. Only has 1 hook instead of 2. I think that's because they were issuing these earlier than the 1915 version, so they were still adding 1 hook. But other than that, this is basically the same thing. This one is from Hessen Antique, and you can see the collar colors are very the same, pretty much. Might even get them from the exact same suppliers because of how close they are. But yeah, alright. That's for the jackets. And then one that I don't have here, but I did have, is earlier jacket, which is more of a field green color, or more of a dark green color, and has brass buttons, shiny brass buttons, and super decorative like the Pickelhaube. But I'll put a picture of that on the screen right here, just for an example. I used to have one of those, but I gave that away to my friend because it didn't fit me anymore. Yeah, there's that. There's for the jackets. Now we'll go on to the legs. I would have them on the table, but I'm wearing them currently, so I'll just record my legs. Okay, so I hope you can see this right. There's a bad glare, but I think you can see my shoes. But these are standard issue low boots. I believe they were issuing these earlier in the war too, along with jack boots. But as a shortage of leather started to happen, these were just being issued along with the puttees. And these are just been blackened. You can kind of see on the toe that they're starting to wear off, and I'll have to redo them. But these were issued regular leather color, and then in basic training you'd have to blacken them. And then the puttees are just regular puttees, except they're gray for the Germans. And then the pants are pretty much, are actually exactly the same color as the tunic, the 1915 tunic, and a lot like World War II German pants. Not really much about the pants. I do wear suspenders with them. I don't think you can see those right now. But, yeah. These would look a little... I used to have jack boots, too. I used to have the old uniform until I grew out of most of that stuff. So, I had the pants and all that. These pants got greener. The old pants were pretty much a standard gray. So, a gray that you could think of your head right now is the color they were, and they had a red stripe going down the crease of the pants. But like I said, in 1915 they got rid of all that stuff because camouflage purposes. But I don't know if you can see it, but it has a hidden fly, and like I said, I wear suspenders with them. And there's a more in-depth video onto the pants in the unboxing video, which I think will be before this. So yeah, that's that for the legs. Here, in my opinion, we have the best part. So, to start off, we're going to start off with the base, and that is the belt. The belt is also from Hessen Antique. This was the original leather color until I dyed that black. This is pretty much exactly the same as the World War II versions, except maybe the inside might be dyed, or no, actually this is exactly the same. So, just a black belt, little bit different hook system than the other countries, and uses a belt buckle like this, sort of like the German one, or World War II ones, but a little bit different. On the front it says Gott mit uns, which means God with us, and then the crown you can see on the buttons, and a leaves there. But this is the early war version. Later war would be all gray or just a stainless steel color, but this is the early version with the brass and the silver. And the ammo pouches are pretty much exactly like the World War II ones as well. I think these are called the 1909 or 1907 ammo pouches, and they had another version, the 1988 version, which was for the older style rifle, but this is for the Gewehr 98. These are exactly the same to the World War II versions, except that these are thinner, so probably just that thin, the World War II versions. So these are just a little bit thicker. But these are originally brown. I'll show you. These are originally brown, again to match the old style uniform, which there was no blackened gear. But like I said, in 1915 the order was given to blackened gear, so all my brown gear I have blackened myself, as would the soldiers would have done. So the bread bag strap here, I would have the early war version, but I don't know where it is. I lost it, I think. So this is the wartime version. This is the gray version from Nestoff. Oh, I forgot to mention those pouches are from Hessen, and the this bread bag strap is from Nestoff. I like the colors from Nestoff. Pretty basic, just a long strap with hooks on it, and it's adjustable. The reason it's called a bread bag strap is because obviously it goes with the bread bag. Actually, I'm going to take off the water bottle. So this is the bread bag. This is the early war version. See, that kind of has that orange color other than this color. And on the back here, there's two D-rings. You can attach the hooks to those and wear it like a shoulder bag. But otherwise, this goes around your neck and then hooks to the back of the ammo pouches like that, and that'll just suspend the front of your belt, hold everything up in the front. And then I forgot to show you, but in the back of the, actually I'll just show you now. So this is a pretty important part. You can see here the back has two button-shaped hooks that have the crown on them. But this holds up the back of your belt, and then on the sides there's these smaller hooks, thinner hooks, that also hold up your belt. So all of this in the back holds up all the heavy gear in the back, your shovel, your knife, your full water bottle, and whatever's in your bread bag. So we'll get back to the field gear now. Alright, shovel's pretty much the same as the World War II again. This is actually a World War II cover, but they're pretty much exactly the same. This is also a World War II shovel. This is just a whole World War II setup, except the cover's brown, and then I blackened that myself, or kind of blackened it. That's the same as the World War II version, and then I'll show you how to set that up correctly for the when we put it all together. And then the water bottle, different, a little bit different than the World War II version. World War II version is basically the same thing with a cup on the top. This is just without the cup. Just a leather cover on a metal water bottle. Then this hooks onto the, as you saw, to the front of the bread bag, and then this goes through the strap on it. Now away from that stuff for a second, here's the tornister pack. Again, this is the early war version. This is pony fur. This is from Hessen Antique. Pony fur version, you can see there's that orange color again. And then there's too much stuff. I don't really want to go into all the purposes of all these bag or packs and stuff of each thing, whatever. But there's the inside of the tornister pack. Just a backpack for all their gear. And then the greatcoat would would roll up and wrap around the front of this, and straps would secure that on. I'll put a picture of that up on the screen, show you how that would look. I don't have the tent or the Zeltbahn. I don't have that would go around it as you see in the picture. But anyways, let's put all this gear on the belt. I'll show you how to do that. So it's pretty simple. Obviously you want to take your belt buckle off. Then you want to start with this backwards, so with the hook facing to your right and the smooth side to your left. Take an ammo pouch, flip it this way, then just feed the belt through these loops, like so. Like so. And just bring that all the way to the right side there. Then your next piece is your shovel. So again, just want to flip that on its side. And then this one's a little bit different. So here, you're going to want to feed this through the first loop. Then get your bayonet frog, or this would have your bayonet in it, but I don't have a bayonet right now. And just put that on the other side of the shovel and just have that laying on that. And then have the loop of the bayonet frog come up through the back. Feed the belt through that. And then out through the other loop. So once you got that, looks like that. Feed that all the way down to the second ammo pouch. Like so. And then for your bread bag, and then get your water bottle, hook the water bottle to the bread bag with the strap here. And then just hook that like so. Now your water bottle's attached. Flip that again. Belt through the loops. And then I will not be putting on the gear today because of how hot it is outside. I'm kind of dying in these wool pants, but it's not too bad. Alright, now you got the bread bag, the shovel, and the ammo pouch on there. Last piece is the second ammo pouch. Same thing. Flip it over, feed the belt through the loops, and boom. All your field gear on the belt, all attached. Belt buckle, again, flip that this way. Feed that through under the bar, and then pick whichever one is your size. Put the little prongs into the holes, and boom, your belt buckle's attached. And then, obviously, I assume that if you own all this stuff, you know how to buckle it, but if you don't, I'll just show you really quick. So, there's that little hook right there, and then there's a little thing that right there. I don't really know what to call that, but that just slips into that, and boom, your belt's attached. So, that's your field gear. I'll just go into one more thing. So to wrap up the video, this is your soul book. I'm covering my name just because I feel like it. But I filled everything out in here, and then you'd put your picture in the front there. You can see that's my old uniform. You can see the brass buttons there. You know, this just has information about gear you'll need, gear that's broken and you need to repair and fix and buy new stuff, all that fun stuff. Alright guys, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I'm hoping you like the content, and I'll see you in the next one.